on the motion? Mrs. Dwyer.
I actually won't be supporting the motion because it's kind of hypocritical when we're adding $570,000 to the budget that we shouldn't even have to be talking about, but we are, so I will not be supporting that motion.
I'm shocked. Anything else on the motion? Mr. Superintendent, would you call the roll, please?
Sprague? Mrs. Dwyer? Mrs. Mahoney? Mr. Mariano? Mr. McCarthy? Mr. Pulio? Mayor Koch?
Yes. Thank you. Any other items? Communications? Mrs. Dwyer.
Yes, I'd actually like to just, before you get to communications, I would just ask that you show a little bit more respect for me, please. You've been very disrespectful tonight about your tone and the way you speak to me, and I would ask that in future meetings, I've been trying to be upfront about everything tonight. I have not had any, I'm just trying to get information, and I thought you were very disrespectful, and you just continue to throw comments at me, so I would ask that future meetings you do not refer to me in that manner. Thank you.
Communications? Seeing none. Hearings? Seeing none. Reports of special committees? Mrs. Dwyer.
We actually met on Thursday. This was the Oversight and Rules Committee. We met January 15th, I believe it was, for purposes of getting information about the track at Faxon Field. There's been a lot of communication going around the city and the newspaper, at City Hall, and I felt that it was a proper time to get everybody at the table to talk about what's going on. A lot of things have been happening without the school committee knowledge. I do want to note that Mayor Koch did not come to the meeting, that he sent the city solicitor instead. So on issues such as big as the track, I was disappointed that we did not hear the mayor's plea to put the track on Faxon Field. But of course, you know, he's just continuing to go there. So we talked about the letter that we were going to send to, again, the MASC to get a clarification on the jurisdiction of Faxon Field. I still feel strongly that we need to do that. And we talked about the letter that the parents for pageant have submitted to the Inspector General. We also talked about the letter that was memorandum of agreement that was given to the neighbors back in 2006 about what would go on the land, what could or could not go on the land, and what implications would be if, you know, other than ball fields or, you know, something went on the land. We talked about that. We also talked about the city has gone in front of the Conservation Commission. I shouldn't say, the parents went in front of the Conservation Commission to discuss this, and I know there was a meeting tonight, so we're not sure what happened on that. There are some implications to the Conservation Commission. We did find out on the 15th that the city solicitor has filed a notice of intent, which we were hoping that would not do. I'll just refresh your memory. I was afraid that if we opened up any kind of permitting issues with the high school, you know, I just didn't want to jeopardize the high school. He told us at that time, I believe it was in the summer, that he didn't think that was a problem, that they would let us alter, you know, the field section of it. But that actually came back as not true. He did have to file a notice of intent. I have asked him for a copy of that. We have not received that as of yet. Basically, it was just a conversation about what's going on, you know, who's heard what, and talk about how we feel about all the issues that are facing putting the track at Faxon Field. And that was basically, it was just an informational meeting. Nothing really came out of it other than we are gonna, I'll rewrite the letter and resubmit the issues that were brought up at that meeting about the track.
Any questions of Mrs. Dwyer? You all set?
Yep.
Mrs. Mahoney?
Just out of curiosity, I just want to make sure I'm following this too. Was the notice of intent the one that Mr. Timmons said that he couldn't send to us because it was a hard copy and he was waiting to get it in electronic format? Yes. Mr. Timmons?
Jim?
Seeing we're all here in the office, would it be possible to get a copy of that? We just need a copy of it, correct?
It's
Say
alluding
again?
to the notice of intent.
Right?
I said in the notice of intent, we did get communication back to you saying that we would not be able to receive the notice of intent because you only had it in hard copy format and you were waiting to get it in electronic format to send it to us?
Right, we're going to copy it in
Could
a
you not have had it
PDF
here,
format.
seeing it was in a situation that you're here tonight? Was it not something that you could not think forward-thinking to make copies of to have handed out to us tonight?
Okay. Shall I answer the question I was answering? And then I'll ask you to repeat that one. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Thank you. We're going to copy the notice of intent in a PDF format, and then I'll email it out to everybody. I'll have that done in my office. That was a suggestion you made.
Yes, and that suggestion was made when?
I don't know, Mrs. Mahoney. Do you have any idea when you made that suggestion?
I do, I believe it was Monday, and it's Wednesday, and a copy could have been handed out tonight. Lots of things have been handed out tonight. I'm just surprised
Today's
that we couldn't
Wednesday?
have it.
All right, you made the suggestion on Monday, you think?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
just know I made the suggestion.
Let me check. I have this here,
Doesn't
just
matter.
so everyone's, well, apparently it does. It came in Tuesday at 11:20, which was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm correct that I responded to you, did I not?
I think you did.
Okay. I responded directly to you, not to all committee members. I suggested that that was a good idea you had, and that I would ask someone to photocopy it. We have a machine upstairs that creates PDF files, and then we'll email it to all the members. And that's what I'm going to do. And I hope that's helpful. I'm not sure if that's the question.
I guess the response is that we were waiting on something in a timely fashion. A timely fashion isn't, sending out a PDF electronically would be something that you could get to somebody fairly immediately. And seeing we're meeting here tonight and you're here, I thought maybe you might have copies of it. It's just a question.
Well, if I did, I would have brought them, but I don't, and I was going to do it by email. I've asked someone in my office to take the notice of intent. There was a hearing today on it. I've had a couple of people from the public who have come in and taken the notice of intent to look at it. There was an engineer who had it, who's a woman who lives in the city, who wanted to look at she's been at all the hearings, she wanted to look at it. So she was in my office today and had it for a bit. So it just may be the case that they haven't been able to copy it yet.
So you take the original one and hand it to people, or you don't make copies of it for them to take a look at? I'm just curious.
I have one notice of intent in my office. It's a little booklet, and it's bound. And I maintain that in my office. I only have one copy. So when people have come in, they take my copy, and they go into the conference room and look at it. So that's all that's going on. I'm not sure what the concern is about,
I was just asking.
But I'm trying to get this out to you, and I will.
Okay.
Thank you.